everybody doing today? This is Mr. Amen, and this is a Let Them Know Media production. First, I would like to ask everybody to please subscribe. I need the subscriptions in order for me to get these videos out to y'all. So please do something free and just like and subscribe. Okay? Comment, tell me what you think. Tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what's going on. And share. And I would like to say thank you for all of that in advance. All right, today's topic is a little bit more in depth, and I'm gonna need a little bit more time to 2 minutes to get this out of the way. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is the 4 seasons. You know, we got 4 seasons. We have winter, spring, summer, and fall. Okay? These 4 seasons energetically manifest cold, rain, heat, and dry. You know, and if you think about cold and rain, they kind of is byproducts of themselves, just manifested in a different way. And then when you think about heat and dry, pretty much the same thing, right? But these are just examples of what's manifesting in the world when we go through these 4 seasons. You know, and so, you know, when you think about what's going on, you think about the ancients, right? And when you look at Egypt, you know, they got a lot of monuments that's facing, you know, these 4 cardinal points of the year. So it lets you know how important this is, right? All right, but what's actually going on is not just planting a seed in the ground. See, I've talked about in other videos that there's a duality to everything, right? I've talked about, you know, the physical manifestation and the spiritual manifestation. So when you look at the physical manifestation of the 4 seasons, you're talking about harvesting. You harvesting whatever you put into the ground and whatever's going to grow. Certain food grows during certain times of the year, certain foods don't, right? And so what's going on is a lot of energy exchanging in order for these things to manifest themselves the way that they do. And so we have to take into accountability that if the earth is changing and going through changes, so are we. And so I would like to give y'all, you know, a little example of how these changes take place. So, you know, I talk about, you know, like in the summertime, right? In the summertime, you know, everybody's vibing, everybody's vibrant. You know, a lot of ladies talk about having a hot girl summer or just even taking trips and having fun. You know, the fellas, we doing the same thing. We want to dress, we want to go on trips, we want to enjoy ourselves. Right? So it's very high energy, high vibrations in the summertime. Okay? So then you're talking about fall. Fall is like coming to an exit, right? Coming into an exit. So the way I paint into summer, I paint the fall like this. Let's say you talk to a young lady in the summertime and you meet her and then you really like her. And so, you know, in the fall, it's like, okay, can we be in a relationship? Right? Now, mind you, the way I'm describing this is just to give you all an example of where I'm coming from. So just follow me for a second. And so, you know, you talk to her, y'all end up becoming boyfriend and girlfriend. And then wintertime comes. And in the wintertime, it's like, okay, y'all cuffing each other. A lot of people call the winter cuffing season, right? From who you met from the summer and who you became, you know, in a relationship that fall. And so in the spring, if everything was good, then everything was good. But most time people break up again, you know, because a lot of relationships ain't lasting like they used to. And so, You know, it's funny how spring is called spring, and then people spring back into action after, not being together anymore or not wanting to. And so let's look at it like this now, since I gave you all the example. So you have the winter solstice, the summer solstice, the spring and the fall equinox. And so you want to look at winter solstice as the taking in of, you planting seeds within yourself. A lot of people call, January 1st, their New Year's resolution, but in all actuality, everything start the first day of, the winter solstice. So they're a little bit late already. And so you take into yourself what you want to do throughout this upcoming year. All right, so when spring comes, spring is like, okay, this is manifesting time. This is time to get up, get out, and get up and moving to manifest what you put into yourself and what you was working on, the information you was gathering to yourself to bring into the work that needed to be done during the spring. Summertime is like, okay, let me see my works work for me. I want to see all of these things work for me, and I want to see all of these things making great, heights being met. So you kind of like see the blessing taking shape. Okay. Now, mind you, this is a yearly thing. So when we get to fall, okay, now it's like, okay, we need to start getting back into reinvesting back into ourselves again to get ready for the winter again. So this is a yearly thing that's happening. Okay. And so the last example that I want to give you all of this, and, maybe this is a part one and maybe I'll come out with a part two, because this is like a topic that, I think that a lot of people don't understand, and it's more to even talk about. So I might just end up having to make another video. But the last example I want to make is from a business standpoint. Major corporations have what is called a fiscal year. And during that fiscal year, it's broken down into 4 quarters, right? So 4 quarters, fiscal year, right? But what's actually happening each quarter is they're learning. They're taking into themselves the account of what's going on with the company. How much money did we spend? How much money did we make? How much money did we lose? Is there anything that we need to reinvest in? What mistakes did we make? What did we do right? And they consider all of that information moving forward into the second, third, and fourth quarter with improvisation, to improvise in order to make maximum, financial efforts, right? And so, if businesses is doing that, no matter if they're looking at it as a 4-season thing or not, why aren't we doing that? And I think that by doing this in this kind of format, we will have more success in the world on a spiritual level and maybe a material or physical level, right? And so I just wanted to talk to you all about that because, we don't talk about what's important and why it is important to us and why we need to look at it as important. Once you understand this information, you can move the way you need to with confidence. All right. So I just wanted to thank you all, and everybody have a blessed day. Peace.